Good afternoon, welcome to Rovers TV and the LD Nutrition Stadium for this round 22 Kingstone Press Championship tie between Featherstone Rovers and Halifax. Today's sponsors: big match sponsor Economise, associate match sponsor Ward Hygiene Services Limited, match ball sponsor SD Landscapes, man of the match sponsor Mammoet. Featherstone Rovers team first of all. Number 20, Kyron Johnson. 4, Missy Talapapa. 3, Chris Alunya. Josh Hardcastle. 5, Luke Briscoe. 7, Anthony Thackeray. Wildy. 10, Andy Bostock. Hill Carlisle. 8, Daryl Griffin. 12, John Davis. 14, Frankie Mariano. 30, Jack Ormonroyd. Interchange, 22, Jason Walton, 21, James Lockwood, 13, Richard Moore, and 32, Jordan Baldwinson. Head coach, John Sharp. Halifax lineup: number 2, Will Sharp, 4, Ben Heaton, 3, Steve Tyra, 16, Ed Barber, 23, Rob Warrensey, 6, Scott Morrell, 1, Ben Johnston, 37, Brandon Douglas, 17, Brandon Moore, 14, Ryan Boyle, 11, Shane Grady, 8, Mitch Cahalane, 12, Simon Griggs. On the interchange, 20, Elliot Morris, 39, Michael Seo, 26, Alex Mamone, and 9, Ben Kay. Head coach, Richard Marshall. Referee for today's game is Mr. L. Moore. My name is Joanne Fitzpatrick. This is Rovers TV. It's a sunny day here at Featherstone Rovers. Co-commentating with me in the sun is Ben Gummersall. Good afternoon, Ben. Good afternoon, Joanne. So we were talking before on Facebook Live about this Featherstone Rovers team, and the first thing that you notice there is that Kyron Johnson has come in for Ian Hardman. Yeah, I think Ian Hardman has played some big minutes this season throughout the year for Featherstone Rovers. Now that Rovers have made the Super 8s qualifiers, John Sharp's maybe seen fit to give him a rest. It gives him an option of looking at Kyron Johnson at fullback, see how he can do it today against what will be a difficult opponent when you look at the likes of Scott Morrell in the halves for Halifax, and also Ben Johnston. It won't be an easy match for Kyron Johnson, but it's an opportunity for John Sharp to have a look at him. Yeah, Scott Morrell, when Featherstone played Halifax at Halifax early in the season, obviously Featherstone came out victors, but a lot of the pivot plays do revolve around Scott Morrell and his kicks. So Kyron is going to have to be very alert to those today. He is. He's such an influential player for this Halifax team, is Scott Morrell. Through him, they have got Ben Johnston in at the halves as well, of course. Well, he is their talisman. He's a real playmaker, and Rovers will need to be alert to that today. Certainly will. Featherstone Rovers already in the Super 8s qualifiers. Halifax still need to book their place. They're fighting it out with Toulouse for the 4th and potentially the 3rd spot. Down to our right-hand side, we can see Halifax fans have come out in their numbers to support their team today. It's good to see Halifax fans down here at the LD Nutrition Stadium. Stayed away in recent years, so it's good to see them turning out in force. Like today, the last Ordinary League game of the season for Featherstone Rovers as well. At home, of course. It's such a big game, such a big occasion for Halifax, Joanne. That victory they had in Toulouse, that's given them the momentum, that's given them pole position, if you like, in that race for the 4th spot. But it's not going to be easy to lose today. Oh, we've got fireworks, I think, of. Yes, it's fireworks. So, just in case you can hear any loud bangs in the... I think Jamie's just, like, jumped to the roof of the gantry just then. So, yeah, it gave everybody a fright. To lose, so, Joanne, they haven't got an easy game either, of course, today. They're over the other side of the motorway at Hull Kingstone Rovers. Running for either of the teams in the top 4, fighting it out for that 4th spot. OKR today, and then they play us next weekend, of course. So they're going to have to do it difficult. Both teams enter the pitch. Featherstone Rovers in their navy and white strip, the home strip. Halifax in the away colours of the fluorescent green. Missy Talapapa it is who leads Featherstone Rovers out as the captain today. Going to line up in front of the Featherstone Rovers and the Featherstone Rovers Foundation flags. We've got dancers on the pitch. We've got Percy the pit pony. We've got fireworks, as you can well hear. There is going to be a solemn moment before we get this game underway today. You know, whilst all these celebrations are going on, there was the very sad loss of the Featherstone Rovers legend Vince Farrer this week at Featherstone Rovers, and it's been felt throughout the club, hasn't it, that Ben?
It has. It's such a sad loss for Featherstone Rovers. It was an influential figure in his playing days, Joanne, and since he's finished playing as well, he's maintained his influence within the club. Everybody at the club knows him, and this is a massive occasion.
There's also going to be a minute's applause for Evan Hawksworth as well, who sadly lost his life playing for Stanley Rangers under 14s last week. So we'll just break off the mics a moment while these are observed.
The towering forward who played hooker and prop, coached Featherstone from 1981, following stints with Cronulla Sharks, Hull FC and Sheffield Eagles. We are also deeply saddened to learn of the death of Stanley Rangers under 14s player Evan Hawksworth. Evan was taken to Pittsburgh Hospital, Wakefield, transferred to Leeds General Infirmary last Sunday after he sustained a serious head injury during a game against Batley Boys. And only this morning, the club learned of the passing of Rovers supporter Ben Hopkins, who died suddenly yesterday. Let us remember Vince, Evan and Ben now. Will begin with a minute's silence, followed by a minute's applause for Evan Hawksworth and Ben Hopkins. First, though, a minute's silence in remembrance of Vince.
Immaculately observed minute silence for Vince Farrer, as you would well expect. And the minute's applause there for Evan Hawksworth, and also the sad loss of Featherstone Rovers fan Ben Hopkins this week. Now to business. Featherstone Rovers playing up the slope towards the railway end. Halifax playing down towards Post Office Road end in this game, and Halifax are going to kick the game off. Referee just looks at his watch, he waves time off, and the game gets underway. This round 22 Kingstone Press Championship game. In the air, and it's caught there. Over on the right-hand side, Featherstone Rovers taking it over their own 20 there with Josh Hardcastle. Gets to his feet, plays the ball, comes to Andy Bostock, who goes forward, drives the ball forward to the 30. Just pushed to his feet, back down a little bit. He thought he could have had a penalty there. Ormondroyd now takes it a further 10 metres, but the Halifax players try to push him back a little bit. Slow rooks at the moment. We've got Daryl Griffin onto the ball now, so 3 big forwards. Could argue 3 props really there, but Ormondroyd is playing at loose forward today, and now the ball comes on the last to Matty Wildy, who floats it over into touch. Good set of 6 by Featherstone Rovers there. You could say decent game management there, Ben.
6 of Featherstone Rovers, 3 big forwards driving that ball in one by one, making 10 metres apiece, and then on to Wildy on that last tackle. An absolutely perfect touch finder from Matty Wildy. So are going to get ahead and feed at this scrum, about 12 metres out from their own line. But that was a perfect way to start. If you could have asked for an opening set, Joanne, you couldn't ask for a better one than that.
You couldn't. No, they're going to make Halifax bring it away from their own 10, as you say, and they do. They take it up to the 20 from that scrum. Ormondroyd's in the tackle there with Mariano. Forward now. Featherstone defence muscling up there with Carlisle, Thackeray and Bostock. Halifax taking it forward with Simon Grix, the loose forward. Coming down this right-hand side, they get up to the halfway. It's the 4th tackle for Halifax. Carlisle and Bostock taking a while to get off Barber there, but eventually they do, and so very quickly, and that's the last tackle. Halifax lost a bit of ground and they're on halfway. The kick's going to come on the last from Scott Morrell. I said that he was a pivotal player. Kyron Johnson at fullback today. He collects that ball, brings it forward. There's a row of green and black, and the dump Kyron Johnson to the floor. Featherstone Rovers fans not happy with that, but I don't think there was anything illegal there. Josh Hardcastle with the ball now on this 2nd tackle of the 6.
Good defensive set there for Featherstone Rovers. Joanne keep pinning Halifax back in their own half onto halfway, making them kick from there. A good return from Kyron Johnson from that kick as well. And Rovers now on their own 40 with Missy Talapapa.
Keil Carlisle with the kick from dummy half. We've seen him doing that in recent games for Will Sharp to chase. Will Sharp just takes it in the field of play, but is within his own 10-metre line, and the chase is good from John Davis. And John Davis, Wildy and Hardcastle push Will Sharp back, and he's 5 metres away from his own try line there.
2 great kicks from Featherstone Rovers in the opening 3 minutes of this game, Joanne. Keil Carlisle with that second one, pinning Halifax back. Will Sharp made to bring it from deep. A good chase is made by a good kick, sorry, he's only kept up by a good chase though. And on both occasions, Rovers have done that.
Ball comes to Warren, seen out, looked a touch forward. Featherstone crowd shouting for it. He dances around Mariano, but he's not going forward, he's going sideways at the moment. And he gets put to the floor, 35 metres away from his own line, and it comes across to Morrell. Morrell with that definitely looked a forward pass, but nothing's being given. Again, Thackeray was shouting, and the ball's been offloaded. It's given to Alunya. The referee, though, is going to give a penalty for...
No, he's not. He's just saying I said held there, so that's going to go back for the play of the ball.
I saw him putting his hand to his mouth. I thought he was going to shout dissent there. Heaton with the ball from dummy half to Morrell. It is on the last. It's gone over the top of Luke Briscoe's head, and it's been chased down by Halifax, and Luke Briscoe puts it into touch, so it's going to be a Halifax scrum. Briscoe and Johnson got ever so mixed up there, and Steve Tyra was chasing that ball down.
We talked about Scott Morrell with his kicking game there, Joanne. That was a towering kick from Scott Morrell in between the 2 players, which caused a lot of problems for Featherstone Rovers in defence. In the end, having to put that ball into touch. But the first real attacking opportunity of the afternoon is going to go the way of Halifax.
Just waiting for this scrum to set. So Halifax are going to get this scrum. So they're going to get this scrum 12 metres out. It comes out at the back of the scrum to Morrell. Morrell lays it off to Will Sharp, who takes it forward. He drives it over the 10-metre line. Does Will Sharp? And Featherstone concede a penalty right under the sticks. Bostock and Carlisle not allowing Will Sharp to play the ball. They're going to take the tap with Morrell. Driving it forward with Ryan Boyle, our Halifax there. Brandon Moore in at dummy half. It comes out to that left-hand side. It goes to Tyra. Great tackle great tackle coming in from Luke Briscoe there on, was it on Steetyra? And now Halifax taking the ball forward. That was an important tackle by him. Brandon Douglas has got the ball at the moment, 8 metres away from that Featherston line. Still 0-0 here. It comes to Morell. Morell dances round himself. He's going for the line himself. He's Scott Morell. He's going to get held up short. He's actually held up over the line, so the ball's going to have to be brought back to be played.
Scott Morell's having a massive influence in these opening 5.5 minutes of this game, Joanne. 2 towering kicks, a dancing run there. Rovers defence able to keep him out on that occasion.
Morell plays the ball. It goes from dummy half and it comes across, and there's a little kick put through. And it's just put behind by Josh Hardcastle. Important intervention because Ben Johnston was chasing that kick. Going to be a dropout.
Pressure building from Halifax. A nice little kick behind from Johnston. Hardcastle alert to it, though, able to put that ball dead. It's an important period of the game. It's so early on in the game, John. If Rovers can keep Halifax out here and come away from this period of pressure without conceding points, that will give them a lot of confidence in defence as well.
Zachary is who kicks this ball for the dropout. It goes over the 40 and it's taken. Driven in by Ryan Boyle again. Ryan Boyle takes it up to the Featherston 30. Boyle plays the ball. Comes to Brandon Douglas. He gets tackled 22 metres out to Morell. That pivotal man, Morell. Oh, it was a shoulder tackle from Thackeray. It could have been high, that, on Mitch Cahalane. He'll have felt that from Thackeray. Brandon Douglas taking it forward now. Halifax are 5 metres away from that Featherston line. John Davis getting difficulty to get up, and a scoop from dummy half by Brandon Moore, the hooker, brings the first try of the game to Halifax. John Davis taking an age to get from that ruck. He'd left the gap, and the hooker, Brandon Moore, scooted in for the first points for Halifax of this game after 7 minutes of play.
Poor from Featherston Rovers. All that hard work in defence, Joanne. 2 almost complete sets. On the last tackle, the gap just opened up, and Brandon Moore able to get through that gap, get the first points of the afternoon. Rovers could keep them out, it would give them confidence. That early score will give Halifax confidence. On the back of that victory against Toulouse, it's important how Rovers respond. We've got 8.5 minutes gone here at the LD Nutrition Stadium, and it's Featherston Rovers 0, Halifax 4.
Yeah, it's like I say, there was a gap, quite a big gap for the hooker just to scoot through there. Conversion attempt will be under the post, so it's going to be an extremely easy one for Steetyra to have a go at. With his round the corner kicking style. This should put Halifax 6 points ahead. And it certainly does. So Steetyra adds the extras there for Halifax. It's Featherston Rovers 0, Halifax 6.
And it's now about, Joanne, how Featherston Rovers respond to that try. They've been strong in defence, except for that one lapse there from acting half. They need to be strong again. They need to pin Halifax back deep. Force Halifax to bring that ball from deep. Keep the discipline, most importantly. Pin Halifax back in them and get the ball in hand and use it as best they can.
Certainly do. Johnson with the kickoff. It's a high one. It's going to be taken there on the Halifax right wing by Ed Barber. He takes it over the 20. Olunya there with a tackle as Halifax bring it over that 30-metre line with Ben Heaton. Ryan Boyle now getting through some work in the forwards. He brings it up to the 40. 3 Featherston tacklers in there, Griffin, Davis and Carlisle. Morell again, he shows, oh, no, sorry, it's not Morell, it's actually Simon Griggs. He shows it one way, goes the other, and that hooker, Brandon Moore, causing problems from dummy half once again, but he runs into the brick wall of Chris Olunya. But Halifax are in the Featherston half, the 32 metres out. It's the last tackle. Morell with a kick across the field, and it fools Matty Wilde momentarily, but he had a fortunate bounce there, did Matty Wilde, and came up with the ball, Ben.
Rovers need to be careful of these runs from outside half from Halifax. a couple of occasions have already scored a try from Acton half. Has Brandon Moore a scoot there as well? A great kick from Scott Morrell on the last there, causing problems. Rovers now just need a controlled set, Joanne. Get the kick, get the territory again.
An unusual kick it was from Moore. And there's a penalty to Featherstone Rovers. As Luke Briscoe was trying to get up to play the ball, there was a Halifax hand in there, so Featherstone will get some metres forward up the field. But just going back to that Scott Morrell kick, a very unusual kick it was. It was a very shallow kick at an acute angle, wasn't it? That went across the field.
It was.
And almost came off, because if you think it goes to Matty Wilde, who's one of the smallest men on the field in terms of Featherstone Rovers colours. So
that's the influence that player has, though, Joanne. Scott Morrell has got such a good footballing brain. He's so alert to these things. But Rovers now in the Halifax 40. That's a good drive in from Jack Ormondroyd on that first tackle. A quick play the ball to Wilde.
Wilde now to Thackeray. Thackeray to Mariano. Mariano takes it up to the 30. He plays the ball, Carlisle in at dummy half. It goes to Griffin. Griffin taking the ball forward. He's 22 metres away from that Halifax line. It seems to be quite a few minutes since Featherstone have had any possession, and it comes across to Alunya now on this left-hand side, but Halifax are in there with the tackle with Morrell, and Talapapa goes from dummy half down that left-hand side. He looks to offload, but he decides to keep onto the ball. He's 5 metres away, and it's the last tackle. Tries to play the ball, and he knocks on. Does Talapapa, so Halifax are going to get the scrum on their own 10.
Smart play from Talapapa there. Keil Carlisle did come into acting halfback as if he was going to play the ball. Talapapa saw the gap open up, he went for it, but just losing control of the ball. Rovers turning it over on their own on the Halifax 10. But they are going to make Halifax come from deep now. But Rovers need to take the chances when they get them, Joanne. We've had 11.5 minutes here at the LD Nutrition. It's Featherstone Rovers 0, Halifax 6.
So Halifax with the put in at this scrum with Scott Morrell on the 10. Bringing it forward up the middle with Will Sharp. He's tackled 15 metres out from his own line. And then there's a run at dummy half from Steve Tyra. Hardcastle does well, though, to push him back with the help of John Davis and Darryl Griffin. Comes across to the left-hand side now with Shane Grady. Grady makes it over the 30. Back into the middle. Halifax going route 1 at the moment with Simon Grix. They're up to the 40. Featherstone need to be careful not to give away any penalties at this stage. And the ball comes from Morrell. I think he was going for a 40-20 there, but it goes straight into the hands of Kyron Johnson. It wasn't the best of kicks. And Johnson, under a lot of Halifax pressure there, takes it up to the 40.
It was excellent play from Kyron Johnson.
Luke Briscoe now dancing around. Luke Briscoe taking it forward. He takes it up to halfway. Carlisle in at dummy half. Talapapa going forward, and it was Brandon Douglas who caught him on his shoulder, but referee said it was okay. And Featherstone Rovers into the Halifax half now. John Davis taking the ball from Matty Wilde, but he loses the ball in the tackle. Halifax come up with it. It's a free play at the moment. Free play with Mitch Cahillane with the ball. So Featherstone not completing that set of 6, Ben.
Need to complete these sets better, Joanne, at the minute. They're just, that's a couple of times they've been in promising positions, Featherstone Rovers, but a couple of times they've knocked on, and it's inviting Halifax pressure, and they don't need many invitations. They're high in confidence, and the 35 metres out now.
Rob Warrency plays the ball, comes across into the middle to Johnston, and then it's to Ryan Boyle. Ryan Boyle gets tackled 25 metres away from the line. From dummy half they go again, Halifax, and looking lively, but Frankie Mariano with a great tackle with the help of Andy Bostock on Ben Johnston. Comes across to that right-hand side with the second rower. Simon Griggs is actually in loose forward today. More in at dummy half. It comes to Morrell on the last. It's going to be a kick over for Luke Briscoe. Oh, Luke Briscoe, if he'd have taken that, it would have been away. Just not able to take it, and it's gone into touch. So it's going to be a Halifax scrum on the 10. So more pressure for Featherstone Rovers.
Yeah, pressure's building into it at the minute, Joanne. Another kick there from Scott Morrell. Rovers really do need to try and close him down. Close these kicks down. It was a good kick. If Luke Briscoe had taken that, like you say, he was in the clear. Ben Heaton was coming across from this near side to try and cut him out. but I don't think Ben Heaton would have got there.
Keil Carlisle just receiving some attention on the field from the physio at the moment. Referee's just going over Mr. Moore just to see what that entails. Just while we're waiting, we've got this stoppage in play. We'll just give a few shout outs. We've got Mark Kirby, our fantastic statistician over in muggy and cloudy Las Palmas. He should be here, Mark. It's cracking the flags in Featherston. He says, up the Rovers. Lucy says, sorry I couldn't be there, but please tell the Dance Academy I said hi. They're doing a great job out there, Lucy. They've got a big one at half-time. Ian Scott, good luck today, Rovers, from a very hot Florida. Well, it's a very hot Featherston as well. I won't read out Nathan McGowan's because he's shouting for facts and he's a Lee fan.
I don't want that, do we?
No. David Rush, come on, Fev, all Fev are we as well. So Halifax going to put in at this scrum on the 10. It comes to Morell out the back of that scrum. He shows it to Sharp and then he gives it to Ben Heaton. Ben Heaton goes forward towards that line. Featherston struggling to get him down to the floor. They'll eventually do. It's a quick play of the ball and it goes to the number 8, Mitch Carlane, and he gets over the line for Halifax's second try of the afternoon.
Yeah, it was strong run from Carlane coming onto that ball. From the play of the ball, it was an angled run. Rovers just not able to get there to cover that tackle. Able to crash over the line. It's about 10 metres to the right of the sticks. This is a perfect start for Halifax. They'll be happy with this. We've had 15 minutes here at the LD Nutrition Stadium, Joanne. Featherstone Rovers 0, Halifax 10.
And it has been one-way traffic, really, hasn't it? From this green and black machine of Halifax, they've certainly been in the ascendancy in these opening 15 minutes of this round 22 game here at the LD Nutrition Stadium. Steve Tyrer with a conversion attempt 10 metres to the right of the uprights in front of those Halifax fans, like I say, that have travelled here in quite good numbers to Featherston today. Featherston Rovers players just having a bit of a powwow with Billy Mallinson behind the try line. Game plan not working at the moment. They need to change things around. Steve Tyrer then with this conversion attempt, like I say, 10 metres to the right of the uprights. And he's successful. That puts Halifax further into the lead. It's Featherston Rovers 0, Halifax 12 after 15 minutes of play here at the LD Nutrition Stadium. And Featherston will be wanting to certainly get a response from this as Kyron Johnson brings the ball forward for the kickoff. Please keep your comments coming on YouTube, on the comments page, as that kickoff comes from Johnson. It's taken by Scott Morell and he lays it off, and Halifax bring it up to the 20-metre line. It seems to have been Halifax with the majority of territory and possession in this opening 15 minutes, and Featherston need to turn the tide almost as Ryan Boyle takes the ball forward. He's 35 metres away from his own line. Comes now with Simon Grix. Ormondroyd in with Bostock and Mariano. Coming down this right-hand side, and there's a gap there for Mitch Carlane. Eventually Andy Bostock manages to tackle him, and it was a good tackle by Bostock because Carlane was in space, and Morell puts a kick in. He's looking for touch. He doesn't find it. Johnson does well. He catches the ball and he brings it over his own 10 metres. So good play by Kyron Johnson at fullback there. He's alert. Talapapa now with the ball. Talapapa with a run. He takes it forward. It's a quick play of the ball from Talapapa. This is better from Featherston Rovers. Carlisle back to Talapapa. He's tackled just short of the Featherston 40. That looked a lot better, and the time's being called off. I think we've got a head problem with the hooker, Brandon Moore.
Just as Rovers are building a bit of momentum there, Joanne.
I know, but you know, you can't be too careful with head injuries, can you?
I'm not disputing that, but you know, just Rovers were coming forward with a bit of aggression, a bit of purpose in those tackles leading up to that. Obviously, the head injury has to be stopped, but Rovers need to get that momentum, get that urgency back in the play as quickly as they can, Joanne.
They certainly do. Lee Evans says, come on, Rovers, sort it out. Well, the last couple of tackles, it looked like they were sorting it out, Lee, so let's hope so. Halifax looked in an offside position when that ball was played there, but referee's not giving anything. Griffin gets tackled 5 short of halfway. Wildy now with a kick over the head of Rob Warrensy. He's looking for a bit of territory. Holds up in the dead ball area. What a great kick by Wildy. Good chase as well by Hardcastle and Davis. And they get tackled 2 metres in the field of play to Halifax. Warrens is trying to bring it out now. He gets tackled 12 metres away from his own line.
Rovers need to keep the discipline here, Joanne. Keep Halifax penned back here. They've got a great opportunity now in defence so they can get a good attacking set next time round.
Halifax still making plenty of metres forward though, but Ormondroyd swings Warrensy round 360 degrees by his shirt, and he gets tackled just short of the 40. Taking it forward with Simon Grix. He's got through a lot of work as well for Halifax. The Halifax forwards certainly have it. It's the last tackle. They've not got out of their own half, haven't Halifax? It comes to Morell. Morell puts a high hanging kick up for Kyron Johnson. He doesn't look confident and he misses it. But he eventually tracks back and gets it, but he's lost ground. They're trying to say that Talapapa was shielding with the Halifax players, but I didn't see anything in that at all.
No, it wasn't. It was a change of direction from Johnson there. He looked to be running round Talapapa, then he seemed to change his mind. And the Halifax defenders there were appealing for it, but there was never going to be a penalty. But Rovers have got a penalty now, though, won by Luke Briscoe for holding down in that tackle. Anthony Thackeray's got ball in hand. He's going to find touch right below us.
Brandon Moore it was, didn't get off Luke Briscoe. He was trying to get a quick play of the ball. Morell's gone away with the ball as Keil Carlisle says, can I have that, please? It's my tap. So I shall take it. Just short of halfway. It comes to Thackeray, then Ormondroyd. Ormondroyd's met by 3 Halifax tacklers, though, that put him to the floor. He plays the ball quickly. It comes to Griffin now. Griffin's over the 40, over the Halifax 40. So Featherstone going to have 4 tackles here in the Halifax half. Let's see what they do with them. Bostock now takes it up to the 30. He goes down with the ball. Tries to play it. There's a man in the ruck, and the penalty comes to Featherstone Rovers. Simon Grix not clearing the ruck. Good play by Andy Bostock as he leaves the field now, being replaced by Richard Moore.
Yeah, just double change for Featherstone by the looks of it.
Richard Moore now coming on the field, and he gets first touch of the ball as Baldwinson enters as well. And Featherstone on the 10. It comes to Thackeray, shows and goes. Thackeray's going for the line. Just gets hauled up short. Just Thackeray's inches short. He's trying to get to his feet to play the ball. He can't. And Carlisle comes in, and it comes to Richard Moore again. Moore gets the ball away to Carlisle. Carlisle again going for the line. Great Halifax tackling there to keep Carlisle out. Comes across to this right-hand side to Davis. Davis with a long pass to Briscoe. To Talapapa. Surely is in. Talapapa is in on that right-hand side. Missy Talapapa scores in on that right-hand corner for Featherstone Rovers to put their first points of the board on this afternoon. Featherstone Rovers 4, Halifax 12 with the kick to come.
Superb play from Featherstone Rovers. Moving that ball across the line. It came to Johnny Davis. Johnny Davis saw that Talapapa had the gap out wide. It was a superb pass out wide to get that ball across there, and Talapapa with his Superman dive over in the corner, Joanne. We've had 20 minutes here at the LD Nutrition Stadium. Featherstone Rovers 4, Halifax 12.
Ian Scott says we needed that. We certainly did, Ian. So it's a difficult kick for Kyron Johnson, though. It's Missy went in at that right-hand touchline, and Johnson going to have to convert from over there. In fact, I think he's put the kick into probably about an inch in the field of play. Really on the edge. So it's going to be a tough ask of Kyron Johnson, is this? So immediately as Featherstone Rovers bring that double forward substitution on, they score. But we've been building up to that with some fast rucks. Johnson now eyeing up the kick. He's coming to take the conversion. He's not got the distance, though. He's not got the power on that. He probably had the accuracy, but it pulled up well short from Johnson. Did that conversion attempt. So Featherstone Rovers 4, Halifax 12. The score remains after 22 minutes of play.
Crucially as well, Joanne, it's still an 8-point lead for Halifax. 2-score lead they have in this game. We've got 18.5 minutes left in this first half. Rovers on the board. It's important now that try it with a completed set Don't make any mistakes. Don't give Halifax easy possession.
Tyra kicks the game off, kicks the match back into play, and Hardcastle takes the ball. Hardcastle takes it just short of the 30-metre line. Plays the ball, it comes to Jordan Baldwinson, who's new on the field. Wow, he got hit there by Griggs and Cahalane.
Welcome to the match, Jordan Baldwinson.
Oh, it was like whiplash almost, wasn't it? They were really in on him there on Baldwinson. Moore, though, takes it over the 40, and now Baldwinson comes back for some more. That's what you like to see in a forward.
He isn't bothered, Jordan Baldwinson, is he?
Yeah, it's coming. Yeah, okay, you got me once, you won't get me twice. Thacker with a kick now towards this left-hand touch line. It's been chased by Briscoe, and Ben Heaton was quite happy to let that go into touch. It's going to be a scrum for Halifax on their own 10-metre line.
Good set for Featherstone Rovers there. We talked about how important it is to complete that set. When you score a try like that, to back it up with a completed set, they've done that. They've got the territory. They've got Halifax back on their own 10. The most important word in this next set, Joanne, discipline.
Yeah, discipline with a few hard hits.
With a few hard hits, but keep your discipline.
Legal ones.
No penalties.
No, so Morell going to put this ball into the scrum. It comes down the blind side, but Featherstone are alert to that. Mariano, Olunya and Morin with the tackle. Halifax on their own 20 play the ball, and Boyle takes it forward. Just short of the 30-metre line now. Carlisle taking a while to get off Boyle there. Will Sharp takes it himself, but he meets Jack Ormonroyd, who puts him to the floor. A risky pass from Johnston, and Griggs did well to take it, and looked a forward pass over there to Tyra. The Featherstone fans are shouting for it, but nothing's given, and I think they're shouting for a knock-on, and then a penalty's given. Talapapa was saying, I think there was a knock-on there, sir, and while he was asking the referee, he says, well, you're in the ruck, mate, so I'm going to penalise
him. He hadn't cleared the ruck well, Joanne. It's all well and good asking for a knock-on, but that you clear that ruck. If the knock-on's not coming, you're risking a penalty. Rovers inviting pressure, and Halifax now are on that Rovers 30 with another full set, but great defence.
Great defence there by Hardcastle, Ormonroyd and John Davis, but now Halifax coming down this left-hand side, and they've got over the Featherstone 20. It comes to Moore, and then to Griggs. Griggs taking it forward. He's been quite an influential player for Halifax this afternoon as Simon Griggs, and he gets tackled 12 metres out. He's looking for a penalty. Comes to Morell. That man Morell, he shows and goes. But Mariano puts him to the floor with Moore. It's a quick play of the ball, a very untidy play of the ball. Surely not legal, but it doesn't matter because Halifax put the ball to the floor. So it should be a Featherstone Rovers putting it.
First knock on, it's a call from the referee, so it will be Rovers head and feed on their own 10-metre line. It was an untidy play of the ball. I thought he'd lost that as well, Joanne.
I'm sure it wasn't legal, but yeah. Mark Kirby says that's Missy Talapapa's 6th try this season. Thank you, Mr. Stat. And
Statman Mark. We love him, don't we?
I think CWL must be our Cliff Lonsdale there in Myanmar. He says Hatchie Hardcastle will see us right no fair. Yes, he says hi from Monsoon, Myanmar. Gosh, get your wellies on. Olunya now from the base of the scrum.
We love Statman Mark, don't we?
We do. It comes to Hardcastle now. Hardcastle in space. Hardcastle gets over the 30-metre line. Good run from Josh Hardcastle. He saw where the gaps were. Talapapa now. Perhaps finding a little bit of holes in the Halifax defence, Featherstone. And Talapapa tries to get to his feet to play the ball. Trademark penalty.
What he does best into there, winning the penalty. I think he does that at least one a game, doesn't he?
Certainly does. Trademark penalty there as James Lockwood enters the field for Jack Ormonroyd. So Featherstone bringing another substitution on. It is hot out there. Josh Hardcastle taking the ball forward from the tap from that penalty. He's got over the Halifax 30. Carlisle to Wildy. Wildy lays it off to Baldwinson, who takes it up to the 20 now. Comes out to Wildy. Wildy shows it and gives it to Lockwood. His first touch of the ball this afternoon. He gets to the 10-metre line. Featherstone steadily making it up. Carlisle from dummy half. He gives it to Baldwinson, but Shane Grady was waiting for Baldwin's knee, gets tackled 5 metres out. Carlisle now to James Lockwood, who drives for the line, but Halifax read that, and it's the last tackle for Featherstone Rovers. Carlisle with a little dummy kick and through, and Halifax with Will Sharp put it behind, so that's a dropout for Featherstone Rovers. Good play by Keil Carlisle from dummy half.
A lot of options for Featherstone Rovers with the kicking game at the moment, Joanne. Carlisle seems to have a lot of kicking from Hatton half. Another one there, beautiful kicking behind the line then. Off the post, which obviously that caused more problems. Halifax have got a player down injured now on the right on the try line underneath the sticks.
Oh, I wonder why that is. Do you know, they were talking about this on Radio Yorkshire on Monday evening, and it's just one of the worst parts of our game is this dropout fiasco. It drives me insane.
Oh, it's a signal, it's an interchange.
All right, okay.
Halifax are losing a player. This is crucial, Joanne.
I will take my words back now then.
But that's massive for Halifax to lose a player potentially as an injury interchange.
Can't see who it is, but the dropouts come. Johnson takes it. He gives it to Lockwood. Lockwood driving it forward. Lockwood still going. Evaded the first set of tacklers there and takes it over the Halifax 40. Baldwinson with the ball now. Baldwinson taking it up to the 30. Ryan Boyle it is that has left the field for Halifax. So
that's a massive loss for Halifax, Joanna. He's been superb in these opening stages, Ryan Boyle.
Wildy over the 20-metre line now. Carlisle at dummy half gets it to Moore. Moore on the charge. Moore gets the ball away to Carlisle, to Johnson. Johnson to Mariano, but that's a great tackle there from Ed Barber on Mariano. He read the situation well. Eventually he gets put to his feet, put to the floor. And the referee holds the play up because there's another Halifax player on the floor in the middle of play.
Oh,
it's a head injury, apparently.
Right,
Featherstone fans going absolutely crazy. They're not giving any sympathy to this Halifax player with the head injury.
Controversial, to say the least.
Plays back on now. Thackeray to Wildy. Wildy to Johnson, but Johnson gets wrapped up there on the 10 by Ben Johnston. He plays the ball to Carlisle. Carlisle to Wildy. Wildy with a little kick through, but it's taken well there by, I think it could have been Elliot Morris for Halifax. He's 5 metres away, so that set comes to nothing for Featherstone Rovers.
Controversial, that, Joanne. Just when Rovers were really looking to have a roll on as well, weren't they? There was so much emphasis in attack, and now Richard Moore and that defensive line. Rovers are suddenly look a bit more fired up, Joanne.
Great tackle by Richard Moore. That's what we want to see out there. Some fire in the bellies from Featherstone Rovers.
John Sharp's down on the touchline as well now.
So Halifax now in their own half deep. They come with a kick, and it was from their own 30 that. It goes over the head of Johnson. It's a decent kick. Johnson having to take it in his own 10, and he brings it forward himself, and he's got a wall. He looks to offload, but he changes his mind at the last minute because Halifax stopped him from doing so. So they play the ball 25 metres away from their own line. Briscoe's upended, but he gets the ball away. Great offload. It goes to Hardcastle. Hardcastle's taking it up and over the 40 for Featherstone Rovers. Thackeray's asking for a quick play of the ball. It comes to John Davis now. John Davis out on the right-hand side as Jay Walton comes on the pitch.
Mariano, who's gone off.
It comes to Tyler Papa. Tyler Papa's in the Featherstone, into the Halifax half. Now he's over the Halifax 40. He tries to get to his feet to play the ball. Carlisle with a kick from dummy half. Goes straight into the arms of Rob Warrensey, though.
Who juggled it.
We've seen Rob Warrensey and his juggling skills before, haven't we?
We have. We've got 10 minutes left here in the first half, Joanne. Still Featherstone Rovers 4, Halifax 12. And I have to say, in the context of this game at the minute, the next score in this match is crucial.
LUFC Ollie says, come on, Fev, listening from Ibiza. I'm sure it's nice and warm there as well. So Halifax now bringing the ball over the halfway line. Jason Walton in the tackle there. He seemed to knock heads a little bit with Thackeray, but they're both okay. Morell, great tackle by Thackeray on Morell. Perhaps not. I thought it was a good tackle myself, and so did Anthony Thackeray. But
so did I.
Scott Morell doesn't think so. He's down on the floor, and the referee's giving a penalty against Anthony Thackeray.
Mr. Moore doesn't think so either, but to me that looked like a
Oh, Morell's bounced to his feet there.
Oh,
it's a miracle.
And look at the smile on his face as well.
Yeah, he knows exactly what he did there. He's kidded the referee good and proper.
He has. I'm sorry, but yes, he has.
Absolutely nothing wrong with that tackle by Thackeray there. And Scott Morell bounced to his feet as if he was a kangaroo there, with a big smile on his face. That's what cocky halfbacks do, though, isn't it? Just wind everybody up.
I'm not sure Halifax aren't going for the two here, Joanne. They are.
They'll be, I'm sure, if this goes over from Steve Tyrer, who is a very capable kicker, is Steve Tyrer. If this goes over, they'll be roundly booed by the Featherstone Rovers fans, I think, because they certainly feel that that they were kidded. Oh, he's showing his jaw to the referee now. He's really putting on the play act in his mirror. Oh my goodness!
Dear me, Joanne.
Oh, I think he's getting a few calls about his weight now because he's patting his tummy. Steve Tyrer with his conversion, with his penalty attempt even, and he gets it. Featherstone Rovers 4, Halifax 14.
So Halifax stretched that lead back out to 10 points. We've got 10 minutes left of this first half. It's Featherstone Rovers 4, Halifax 14. And we all know now, John, what sort of reception Scott Morell's going to get for the next 50 minutes of this game, don't we?
Yeah, we certainly do. I think, like I say, Johnson with the kick-off. I think there are a few comments about his dietary choices there as well. So Morell, it is the pantomime villain, takes the ball and gives it to the Halifax forward, who brings it up to the 20-metre line. What Featherstone Rovers need to do is just keep above all that, all those shenanigans, and just concentrate on their game, which they are doing at the moment, as Lockwood and Baldwinson come in with that tackle. Halifax with Will Sharp now, and he's met by Moore and Baldwinson. He tries to take it up to his own 40. A dummy half, a run from dummy half.
Ben
there from Ben Kay, the Featherstone Rovers former player. He takes it up to halfway. The ball's taken forward by Elliot Morris now for Halifax, and he gets the ball away to Johnston. Not sure how that happened, but it's down with Grady on his left-hand side, and Steve Tyrer lays it off to Warranty, who has to check and come back in field. Warranty's got, is it John Davis hanging round his ankles, and the last kick comes in, and Ben Johnston puts the ball through for Talapapa, and there's a penalty there for offside against Featherstone Rovers.
Oh.
I think referee's going to have a chat with Missy Talapapa. He's called time off. Featherstone have got Matty Wildy down on the floor, and Rob Warrens is also on his haunches, receiving attention.
It's a big call in the contest. Well, it gives Halifax another set in the Featherstone Rovers 20, in the Featherstone Rovers 10. We've got 7 minutes left here, Joanne, and Halifax so far in this game, they've dominated.
Yeah, 7 minutes to half-time. Still only 10 points ahead. Featherstone Rovers are going towards the Post Office Road end in the second half. All is not lost. Don't want to concede another try before half-time, though. And
absolutely not. That's crucial. They need to keep Halifax out until then.
Johnston now 10 metres away from that Featherstone line. Ball's driven forward by Alex Mamone, who's on the field for Halifax. He gets tackled on the 10. Ben Kay in at dummy half, gets it to the left to Johnston. Shane Grady on the charge, but he's held up. Couple of metres short of that try line. Kay in at dummy half again, and he goes out to this into the middle with Johnston. Now it's taken forward by Michael Seo. Seo's a couple of metres away from that Featherstone line. He gets put to the floor. Kay again with Morell. Morell puts a little kick to the right-hand side for Heaton. Luke Briscoe just manages to put him off enough, and it's a Featherstone Rovers 20-metre tap. Well defended Featherstone Rovers.
Superb defence from Featherstone Rovers. They're now going to get a 7-tackle set, of course, as Chris Olunyig makes 10 metres on that first drive. Rovers fans away on that far side, paying for a penalty, Joanne, at the minute.
I think they thought that Halifax were offside at that tap, and that's a Talapapa lifted up in the air, but nobody's giving anything there. And Jason Walton now on the charge, gets it away to Johnson. Johnson dodging and diving, and he takes it up to the halfway line, does Kyron Johnson, where he gets put to the floor. plays the ball. Carlisle to Baldwinson now. Baldwinson is met by some good Halifax tackling. He doesn't go very far with the ball that time, does it, Baldwinson? Now it comes to Thackeray. Thackeray to Hardcastle, who's come over onto this left-hand side for a bit of the action. Carlisle to Thackeray. Thackeray puts a little kick over to the left-hand side into the left-hand corner for Will Sharp, and he juggles with it. Great chase by Briscoe, but Sharp does well to stay in the field of play. He plays the ball, and Halifax still on their own try line at the minute. They're throwing the ball across it, and Moore and Baldwinson eventually put them down 10 metres away from their own line, Halifax.
Just keep your discipline, Featherstone. No penalties. It's been a good defensive set so far. Halifax still trapped in their own 20. From their own 20 with Morell, who's what a kick that is. He's got the distance. Is it going to hold up? I think it is, you know.
It is. It's a great kick from Morell, and Johnson chasing it. He has to pick it up in his own try zone. There's not going to be anybody at acting half unless Talapapa hurries up, which he does. And Talapapa has to take it himself, Featherstone. Talapapa's going to get pushed over the dead ball out of the try line. And that's a dropout for Featherstone Rovers. Featherstone Rovers go from defending in their own 20. Almost kick from Scott Morell early on in the tackle count, earlier than the 5th tackle, and the chase from Halifax has led to this. That is great play by Halifax. You've got to take your hat off to them.
Absolutely, it was. It was a superb kick from Scott Morell. Johnson did well to get back to take it, get back in the field of play, but Talapapa from that next play, there, nobody seemed to even try and pass that ball on to Joanne because the kick had been that good. It took out that 11 out of 13 of that Featherstone Rovers team with one kick there. Superb play.
It was, although John Sharp might be a bit disappointed with the Featherstone chase. Halifax chase was there. That's a great dropout, though. It almost went into touch, but Rob Warranty just managed to get it. Halifax 35 metres away. We've got 4 minutes left to half-time here at the LD Nutrition Stadium. Featherstone 4, Halifax 14. Ball's taken forward now by Elliot Morris. He takes it over the Featherstone 30. Comes to Johnston. Johnston to Morell. Morell with a pass to Cahalan in space, but he gets eventually tackled by Alunya. But they're over the 20 of Halifax, looking dangerous. From dummy half goes CO, and Alunya is offside. He wasn't standing square. So Featherstone penalised once again, and Michael CO showing his experience and cleverness there to run straight at Chris Alunya, and he couldn't resist having a grab. And I wonder if Halifax are going to go for two.
They are. And you know what? That's good play from them. With 3 minutes left on the clock, it stretches that lead out to 12 points. Halifax will be very happy with the first half's work here at the LD Nutrition Stadium.
Do you know I'd have gone for a try? Because honestly, they got Featherstone looking really tired at the moment. And, you know, you got 3 minutes left to half time. Why not go for a tap and a try? Because this will only put them 12 points. So it doesn't put them more than 3 scores ahead or anything. So it's nout na summit, as we say in Featherstone.
Well, Steve Tyler, we all know how his kicking record is probably one of the best kickers in the game with the amount of...
I think I could kick this. It's under the sticks. So Steve Tyra with this penalty attempt, 10 metres out, just to the right of the uprights.
Right.
And it's successful, unsurprisingly. So that's Featherstone Rovers 4, Halifax 16. Halifax with 2 tries.
Have Rovers
2 conversions and 2 penalties.
Have Featherstone been let off there, do you think, Joanne?
I think so. To be honest, I'd have, if I was a Featherstone Rovers forward in this heat, and the amount of pressure they've been under in defence this half, I'd be thinking, do you know what? I'm glad he's gone for 2. I can have a bit of a breather. Johnson with the kick off, and it's a high one for Morell to take, but he takes it well, and it's passed into the middle of the field. Halifax take it over their 20 with Will Sharp. On a little bit of a roller, Halifax. They're playing there, got a fast speed speedy rucks at the moment.
You can see the confidence in this Halifax team, can't you, after that victory at Toulouse last week.
And Shane Grady with a little kick through for Johnson, and Johnson bravely goes for that because Halifax were chasing it down. He picks the ball up for Featherstone Rovers on the Featherston, just short of the Featherston 30. Talapapa taking it forward now.
Great play from Karen Johnson, who read that kick well. Brave to get in there to make sure that ball was his. Rovers now bringing that ball forward, about 7 metres shy of halfway.
So it comes to Thackeray to Hardcastle. Missed out Jordan Baldwinson, did that pass to Thackeray, and eventually gets put to the floor, does Hardcastle. Comes to Lockwood now. Lockwood on the charge. Takes it up just short of the Halifax 40. It's the last tackle for Featherstone Rovers, and Thackeray's with the ball in hand. Puts a little kick through. It goes behind Will Sharp. He has to turn and chase. Great kick by Thackeray. Good chase by Featherstone Rovers, who tackled Will Sharp behind the line, and that's forced to drop out.
Great kick from Anthony Thackeray, but Rovers are going to get maybe one tackle at best from this dropout. Halifax taking in an eternity to get behind the line.
Scott Morrell sat on the floor with a big grin on his face, injured. This is
the referee has stopped the clock now.
Yeah, but the referee needs to take action here because this is just making this game into a farce, let's say.
It's absolutely fine, as you say, Joanne. Rovers are going to get one tackle here.
Absolute farce. So there's a few blood pressure going up in the Featherstone fans behind us in the main stand with Scott Morrell's antics. So Thackeray with the ball. It's going to be the half-time hooter. So the kick comes up. Looks like Will Sharp's going to take it. Need to be careful here. Need to be alert, Featherstone, because Will Sharp's got the ball on the charge. Thackeray with a great tackle, though, and that brings the first half to a close here at the LD Nutrition Stadium. Little bit of afters there between the two teams. Featherstone Rovers need to keep out of that. No need to get involved. For some reason, can't see who it is actually. The player, the Halifax player who was incensed down there. I don't know why. You know, you're leading mates. There's no need for that. So Featherstone Rovers 4, Halifax 16 at half-time here at the LD Nutrition Stadium. It's been a bit of a Halifax come Scott Morrell show, hasn't it, Ben?
It has, really. It was a good start from Halifax with a try from Brandon Moore after 7 minutes, which kicking machine Steve Tyler converted. Carl Lane then went over after just under 15 minutes. That made it 12-0. And at that point, Halifax were looking really good, Joanne, before Talapapa went over for a try, which Johnson just didn't quite have the distance on the kick. Then 2 penalties for Halifax from Steve Tyra has stretched it out to 16 points to 4. And it's been a very good first half from Halifax, Joanne.
We'll be back for the second half. Please join us in a few moments. Welcome back to Rovers TV. Welcome back to Rovers TV and the LD Nutrition Stadium, where Featherstone Rovers currently are trailing in this round 22 Kingstone Press Championship game by 4 points to 16 against Halifax. Halifax obviously looking to cement that 4th place. So they are currently leading, but Featherstone Rovers playing towards the Post Office Road end in this second half. They're going to kick the game off with Kyron Johnson.
How important is his first 10 minutes of the second half, John?
We need to lay a marker down. Featherstone Rovers need to lay a marker down, and Johnson takes this kick off. Needs to be a really solid defensive set, as it's taken there over on that right-hand side, but the Featherstone chase is good through Alunya and Hardcastle, and they're playing the ball within their own 10. So, yeah, as we were saying there, Ben, it is important that Featherstone Rovers do have a good defensive set here, isn't it?
It's massive. Halifax have been so dominant almost in that first half. Rovers need to be letting Halifax know that they are in a match and not allowing Halifax to make the easy meters off the back of penalties as well. It's important. They have to keep Halifax out.
Michael Co with the ball now takes it over the 40 for Halifax. It's the last tackle. Featherstone kept them in their own half. Ball comes out to that man Mirrell, who floats a kick over the top of Talapapa's head. It's up to Johnson to capture the ball, which he does. He takes it over the 20, but is met there by Shane Grady and Ben Johnston. Jason Walton puts his hand up for the ball now, and he takes it up to the 30. Talapapa taking it forward. Seen a few of the backs taking the ball early in this set of 6. Talapapa didn't play the ball at all there. He was lucky to get away with that. Comes to Jordan Baldwinson now. He takes it over the halfway, and there's a high shot on Jordan Baldwinson. Shake of the head there. I think it was Elliot Morris that came in with a high shot on him there, and he's a tall lad, he's Baldy, so he had to jump a little bit, but Featherstone get the penalty.
They'll take that as well, Joanne. It's a good yards up the field. What a great attacking opportunity. Look at Mirrell again, holding the ball deliberately on the field of play there, whilst Rovers are trying to take the tap, Joanne.
So as they take the tap now, and it comes to James Lockwood. Lockwood takes it over the 30. Been a fly in the ointment to Scott Mirrell. Thackeray now. Thackeray with an inside pass to Jordan Baldwinson. Baldwinson up to the 10. That's great play by Featherstone Rovers. Baldwinson tries to get to his feet. He gets pushed back down. Carlisle at dummy half to Thackeray. Thackeray to Alunya. Missed out Josh Hardcastle there, who's got no number on his shirt at the moment. And it comes to Thackeray. Thackeray to Lockwood now. Lockwood turns in the tackle. He's tackled 5 meters away, 5-6 meters away from that from the Halifax line. Carlisle in a dummy half to Baldwinson. Baldwinson's going for a try, but he gets over on his back. Referee says he's held up. He was looking for, would it have been his 3rd try in consecutive games there, Jordan Baldwinson?
I think he has scored in the last 2, hasn't he?
Yeah. So he plays the ball on the 10. It comes out to Wildy. Wildy with a little kick. It goes straight into the hands of Steve Tyrer, though. Not the best kick from Matty Wildy. Featherstone not able to put any real pressure on Halifax there, apart from Baldwinson getting held up over the line, and they're coming away with Will Sharp now, who gets tackled on the Halifax 30. Comes to Grady on this left-hand side. He gets tackled, and I think there's a Featherstone player injured. Is it Thackeray? He went in all wrong there on Shane Grady, unfortunately.
Shane Grady immediately calling the referee's attention to that, saying we've got an injured player here straight away. Good, credit Shane Grady for that, but Rovers, if that is Anthony Thackeray, which I think it is, you're right, Joanne. Rovers can't really afford to be losing him, can they?
He got the tackle all wrong. It's definitely a head neck injury that we're looking at. The doctor
referee's saying a head injury.
Yeah, you could tell he went into Shane Grady, but when you see players just getting it wrong, the technique, and they're going at the hip bone, and I think that's what happened there with Thackeray, and he ended up Shane Grady on top of him, and like you say, Grady immediately said, "Oh, it's John Davis. It's not Thackeray."
John Davis. I apologise to John Davis.
He's up though.
Oh, John Davis is hard as nails, then.
We thought it was Thackeray, didn't we?
Thackeray's actually
Thackeray's
out
over
there,
isn't he?
It's because he was hiding, I think.
It was. If we'd have seen his head, we'd have known. So now Michael CO with the ball for Halifax. He takes it over the 40. Got Brandon Moore back in at the hooking roll. Morell with a kick. Hoofs it downfield. Luke Briscoe's going to take it. We're not seeing much of Briscoe in this game. I must admit, he's been quite quiet. He had a good game last week at Oldham, but he's been fairly quiet this afternoon so far.
Rovers need more of that, though, on Scott Morell. They need to get the pressure on him as he's making those kicks, Joanne. Make him hurry those kicks.
Briscoe appealing. He said that he couldn't get to his feet to play the ball. Talapapa gets the ball away, but the referee has shouted, held. Talapapa says, I didn't hear you, mate. Now Jason Walton on the charge with his arching run. He takes it over halfway line. He's fighting to get to his ball. Featherstone Rovers players getting very frustrated. And Keil Carlisle running from dummy half catches Halifax players offside. Alex Mamone it was that was offside, and Featherstone going to get a good set of 6 here in deep in the Halifax half.
Need points here, Joanne. We need to get some points on the board. Try and get some more momentum going now for this Featherstone team. Points on the board here would really boost this team up.
Carlisle with the tap 15 metres out. He gives it to Baldwinson. Baldwinson takes it forward towards Grady and Mamona. He gets put down 8 metres short. Carlisle in at dummy half to Richard Moore. Featherstone bringing the big guns in early on in this set of 6. He plays the ball. It comes out to Thackeray on that left-hand side. Thackeray to Alunya to Johnson. Johnson gets tackled, though, by Halifax, by Brandon Moore, and then it comes to James Lockwood. He's coming on the run around, and he's tackled 2 metres short. Just no way through at the moment, and see what's going to happen here. It comes to Baldwinson. Baldwinson to Thackeray. Thackeray to Wildy. Wildy holds the ball, gives it to Talapapa. It's a forward pass, though. Oh, man. A mile forward it was. Not the best of passes, so it's going to be a scrum to Halifax on their 10.
For me, Joanne, that needed to come out here sooner. Talapapa had acres of space on this right-hand side. It had an open line for 2 or 3 plays as Rovers were attacking down the middle. And then when it does finally come out, a forward pass. But for me, that came out too late.
Yeah, it did. I mean, I could see what he was doing. He was holding it up delightfully, but yeah, it was a mile forward, and it just needed a legal pass, really, and Talapapa would have been in for his second. So the ball's back out of the scrum. That's good defence. I think you're just going to say that,
yeah.
weren't you?
That is good defence. That's what Rovers need to do now. They need to really get in the faces of this Halifax team, Joanne, pen them down.
No penalties.
I was just about to say no penalties.
No, I can see Halifax looking for one there, but they're tackled just short of the 30 with Michael CO. And now I think it's Ben Eaton there with the ball, bringing it forward, the winger. There's all sorts going on in the ruck this afternoon, and there's a tackle on Moore. It's a high tackle, from Josh Hardcastle. We're just saying no penalties. It was a scoop from dummy half by Brandon Moore.
On the 4th
and they give the penalty away. Oh, Scott Morell with the ball.
You do so well in defence in 3 of those tackles to pen them back, and then a scooter on the 4th tackle. You're giving them there 30 metres.
Certainly are. So here Halifax come once again, the green machine with Elliot Morris, 25 metres away from that Featherstone line. Featherstone need to muscle up in defence here. It comes out with Morell. Morell holds it up and passes the ball, and the Halifax are 12 metres away now with tackles in the bank. Morris again with the ball. Morris with a short pass to Brandon Douglas, but he's wrapped up well there by Davis and Carlisle and Lockwood. Moore in at dummy half, gets it to that man Morell, who puts a little kick into the corner, and it's for Luke Briscoe to collect, and Briscoe tries to get out of his in-goal area. He can't do, so he's forced the drop out with that kick as Scott Morell and the Halifax chasers. Featherstone going to be under the cosh for another set of 6 here.
Another good kick from Scott Morelli's kicking game is causing Featherstone Rovers a lot of problems this afternoon, Joanne.
Ian Scott saying, I think Fax want this more. I think coming into this game, it was always going to be Halifax, as you know. I think you alluded to it, Ben, when you said that, you know, they were confident from their winning Toulouse last week, and they're on a roll at the moment, and Featherstone already secured that top 4 spot, and it's kind of like mentally, isn't it? They've got one eye on Toulouse next week as well.
Yeah, I think that's important, Joanne. I mean, I've talked about on Thursday in the build-up with about the momentum, and there were players that I spoke to were talking about they wanted to take momentum forward. That's great defence, by the way, from Jordan Baldwinson and Carlisle. But Rovers wanted this win. They want the momentum going into the qualifiers.
Halifax are coming through, sorry, Ben, but Halifax have got the ball in hand and the 20 metres out. And it comes to the right-hand side now with Caroline, and they're going to be in here at Halifax, I think, in the right-hand corner. They certainly are. Halifax in that right-hand corner. They score the first points of this second half. Was it Ben Heaton that got the ball down over there? I think it was, the right winger.
Yeah, Ben Heaton there over in the corner for Halifax. I said how important the first points were of this second half. They've gone the way of Halifax. Rovers are wanting to make a double change as well, but they're having to wait at the minute. But it was well worked out to that right-hand side. Ben Heaton still had a lot to do to get over in that corner, but is able to get that ball down as tight to the touchline as you like. Steve Tyler it is with the ball in hand. He's about half an inch in from the touchline where Karen Johnson was.
Double interchange coming for Featherstone Rovers. Bostock and Mariano coming on for Baldwinson.
Is that Carlisle?
And Keel Carlisle. So presumably Johnny Davis, Matty Wildy will go at hooker, won't he? I presume. We'll have to see what happens.
I'd have thought Wildy will go in at hooker, but it still goes into the halves.
Unless Johnny Davis goes hooker and
Wildy into the halves.
As the conversion attempt is unsuccessful from Steve Tyler, so that's Featherstone Rovers 4, Halifax 20 in this game here at the LD Nutrition Stadium. 30 minutes remaining in this game. All is not lost for Featherstone Rovers yet. Telepapa, the captain, just having a chat with Mr. Moore, the referee. I think he's wanting some clarification on some things.
Possibly. But Featherstone Rovers, Joanne, now it's about playing for places now. I think maybe there has been maybe an air of complacency in some of the play. They've certainly not been playing up to the standard they have for the past few weeks.
Johnson with the kick-off. It's taken into touch by... No, it was taken on the full. It's gone out on the full. It's a penalty. I thought that initially Halifax had taken it into touch, but they didn't. It's a penalty on halfway. It goes from bad to worse for Featherstone Rovers here.
Hey, when it's not going your way, it's not going your way, is it?
Try scorer Ben Heaton it was that saw that it was sailing out on the full and took it over on that far side from us. Here in the commentary position, Scott Morell puts the kick to touch. So Halifax with yet another set of 6. I'd love to see the percentage possession and territory stats on this game, because Featherstone Rovers certainly have not had lion's share of possession this afternoon.
Or position.
Halifax on their own 20 now with Elliot Morris. He takes it forward to the 10. Takes it over the 10, does Morris. He's knocked Bostock off, which takes some doing. He's 5 metres short, and Halifax looking good for another try here, I'm afraid. Johnston it is. Johnston to Grady. Grady gets the ball away to Sharp. Sharp, it's a penalty to Featherstone Rovers because it's an offside ruling there. I think Grady had put the ball forward. I'm not sure.
Why didn't Grady just reach out and put that ball down, Johnny? Look, for all the world, that's all he had to do then.
I think he was losing it. I think we'll might see better on the video footage, but I think he was losing the ball, and that's why he ended up putting it towards Will Sharp, and Will Sharp was in an offside position. So
a let off for Featherstone Rovers.
Early in the tackle count as well. They looked all the world for scoring another try, and Mariano now. Mariano takes it forward. He's fresh back on the field. He takes it up to the halfway line. Wildy in at dummy half. So it is Wildy that's gone hooking, and Wildy almost through there. Shane Grady piggybacking onto him. He holds him down for an eternity there. But referee's not giving him anything, and Richard Moore now with the ball. Moore on the charge over the 20-metre line. It is the last tackle, though. It's a quick play of the ball. Wildy to Thackeray. Thackeray with a little kick over the top, floating for Briscoe, but Halifax take it well. And Featherstone not able to force the second set. Halifax going to bring it away from their own 10-metre line with Will Sharp. He gets away from the tacklers, does Will Sharp. Richard Moore eventually clatters him to the floor on the 20, though.
I was just about to say, Joanne, that was a good defensive effort from that kick. They were right in the faces of the player taking it straight away. But then on the next tackle, Halifax made meters, and they're now on the 30.
And Alunya's down injured in back play. This does not look good for him. He's holding his right arm, and he looks in a lot of strife, does Chris Alunya. Referee stopped play straight away. It's not sure if he's... not sure if it's a shoulder injury that he's got there, because he had his arm straight out. So
I saw the referee signalling.
He's going to have to come off his Alunya. The physiotherapist has said straight away that it's not good news for him, and he's a tough cookie. He doesn't stay down, does he? So this is going from bad to worse for Featherstone Rovers.
Not had the best of luck this season with injuries. Chris Alunya has it. Is that his second injury that he's had this year?
Yeah, well, he had the leg injury, didn't he? And he was out for it was about 6 or 7 games, and doctors come on now to assess. Juan Ballesteros, the doctors come on to assess the extent of Chris Alunya's injury there. The physio just keeping him sort of stable at the moment.
This is a massive blow for Featherstone Rovers, Joanne. Yes, okay, they might be secured in the playoff. They've had 12 and a half minutes in the second half, just the one try. That coming to Ben Heaton, not converted. But to lose a player of the importance of Chris Alunya with his try-scoring prowess as well, at such a crucial stage of the season, John, we've got one game and a third, if you like, left of the regular season. To lose a player of this importance at this stage of the season could be massive.
We're just sitting Chris Alunya up here. He gets to his feet, and he's applauded by both sets of players and the referee. He's holding his arm. I'm just not sure the way that they're holding his arm. It's I'm not sure.
Good,
it could be shoulder or arm, could that injury, but it doesn't look good at all. And the physio's cradling his arm for him on behalf of him. Is
Steve Tyler, I like that. He just went over and just gave him a pat on the back there. That's, you know, recognising the effort that he's made to this Featherstone course today. So
I think it could be it's difficult to tell, shoulder or forearm, I think, and but he's certainly in a lot of pain. Physio's having to hold it still. So Halifax with warranty play the ball. Coleman Royd it is that's come on for Chris Alunya.
I'll see if I can work out how the Rovers are going to have to adjust to that now.
Well, this is the problem when you have a forward heavy bench. You have to put some forwards into your backs, although Mariano's capable of playing in centre. So Halifax put the kick through on the last. Johnson's chasing it. He takes it 5 metres away from his own line. It's a good chase from Halifax through CO and K. He's 5 metres short of the try line, and Luke Briscoe in at dummy half takes it himself. He gets upended though, and Halifax looking ferocious in the tackling at the moment. Comes to Hardcastle now. Hardcastle takes it over the 20.
Very tight, very bunched up at Featherstone at the minute, and there's no real width to that lineup as you look at that line, Joanne.
I think you're right. Omenroyd on the charge. Hopefully it'll widen up now. Thackeray the ball out wide to Jason Walton. Walton in some space. Walton through. He's over the 40. Walton gets put to the floor. It's the last tackle though, and it comes to Thackeray. Thackeray on the last. He's looking what to do with it. He gives it to Davis. Davis is saying it's the last. I don't really want it here, and it goes to Wildy in the middle of the pitch. Wildy puts a big high kick up, and it's taken well out there on that right-hand side by Ed Barber for Halifax. Featherstone kicks not been troubling Halifax this afternoon whatsoever.
Poor on the last play, that from Featherstone Rovers, Joanne. Thackeray there, running that ball in. Whether he knew it was the last or not, I don't know. But suddenly passing the ball to Johnny Davis. Johnny Davis then, it's like, hang on a minute, why are you giving me the ball on the last? He sent it ball into Wildy. It was a, and then to compound that, Joanne, they concede a penalty as well.
Well, Thackeray's going absolutely berserk with the referee there. There was nobody in at the dummy half space for Halifax. So the Featherstone marker went round to pick the ball up, and he's penalised them, he's pinged them for markers not being square, but he was just challenging for the ball there. It's puzzling, that one, but Halifax get the penalty. They get the tap on halfway with Scott Morrell as the Halifax fans start singing out there. Neil Liversidge says, "Come on, Rovers." Certainly, Neil.
We've had 15 minutes of this second half, Joanne. Just a one try in this second half. It's Featherstone Rovers 4, Halifax 20, and they're looking strong still at the minute.
They certainly are. It's Featherstone just don't look as though they've got anything to offer against this Halifax defence, and it's Halifax with ball in hand now. They're 30 metres away from the Featherstone line, and they're coming forward. The Halifax completion rate's been fantastic this afternoon as well. I think I've only noticed them not complete one. So that's what Featherstone have been up against. And Brandon Douglas takes it over the 20. The 15 metres out now at Halifax. Ben Kane at dummy half. He shows it one way, goes the other. It comes to Morrell on the right. Another one for Luke Briscoe to chase. And he's going to get tackled behind the try line yet again. Luke Briscoe must be getting fed up of seeing these Scott Morrell grubbers. So Featherstone going to have to take that drop out. It looks as though there's a couple of players down injured behind the try line. There's a Halifax player. Luke Briscoe's back to his feet, but there's a Halifax player lying prone behind the try line there. So the dropout won't commence until that player gets on his feet. Is it Shane Grady, I think, down there?
Well, I can't see Shane Grady out on the pitch, stood up waiting, so it could well be. No, I don't think it is, actually.
No, it's not. No, definitely not.
I think Shane Grady may have come off, actually. I don't know.
He has, yeah.
But it's all right. He's a Halifax player, but...
It's Ben Heaton, right winger. He was challenging. I think he was the one who tackled Briscoe behind the line.
But what you could argue, though, John, if Featherstone Rovers are going to put in performances like this, surely it's better to do that now when qualification is secured until they get in the playoffs, and they're doing it in the playoffs. I
think John Sharp would probably disagree with you there. He'll be one. Oh, Richard Moore with a real hit there. Ow. What a hit by Richard Moore. That was fantastic there.
That'll fire them up. That's what we need, big hits like that, Joanne. Halifax now are under Featherstone Rovers 30. And Featherstone, it's a penalty to Featherstone for an incorrect play of the ball by Halifax.
It was actually not an incorrect play of the ball. It was holding the mark, as Michael see how it was. He played the ball and then he held the Featherstone tacklers. Well spotted by the referee. Featherstone going to have this tap 5 metres inside the Halifax half with Josh Hardcastle. He takes it himself over the 40. Let's see what Featherstone Rovers have to offer here. They're going to get 5 tackles in the Halifax 30. So let's see what can happen. And almost an intercept as Thackeray gets it to Lockwood. Ed Barber it was that was chasing the intercept there for Halifax. He almost came off, and that would have been terrible for news for Featherstone Rovers. But as it is, Featherstone have got the ball with Lockwood. He's 15 metres out. Plays the ball. It comes to Thackeray. Thackeray round the back to Davis, to Walton. Walton gets tackled well by Tyra, though. He's a couple of metres away. Mariano at dummy half. It comes to Davis, and then Davis back to Thackeray in the middle. Thackeray with a little kick through. It's taken easily by Halifax. Again, these kicks are just not fooling Halifax at all. Not the best kick, and Featherstone Rovers fans not happy behind those posts with that.
No, not at all. Shocking kick there from Anthony Thackeray, straight down the throat of Halifax. Rovers, like you say, Joanne, the kicks, they're getting in such good positions at times, Joanne. But it's just those last tackle options are letting us down time and time again.
Ben Kay with the ball in hand, 30 metres away from his own line. That's looked a forward pass from Johnston there, but nothing's picked up. He gets over the halfway line. Does the Halifax player, Grix. It comes to Morrell. He puts a kick in for Johnson. Kyron Johnson takes it on the bounce. And that's a high tackle, surely, on Kyron Johnson there. And it's certainly been picked up by the referee. So Halifax giving the penalty away there. A little bit slack from Ryan Boyle. He got Johnson round the chops. There was no need for him to do that. I think Johnson had wrong-footed him, actually.
He had. And from that kick, he took it well. That ball well as well, and win the penalty as well.
The ball's caught in the net on our gantry. That was a good shot there. So Featherstone taking the tap, and they take it up to the Halifax 40. Wildy in at dummy half, and he takes it himself to Thackeray, and again Halifax going for that intercept. It's play on. No, referee says it's first knock on, so I think that will be a Featherstone putting on the 30, but another almost intercept there.
Got to be careful, Featherstone Rovers. Some of the passing's just a little bit off, isn't it, Joanne? Far too close to this Halifax line. Either it's too close or it's not hospitalised, but obvious what they're going to do. So Halifax is able to read the plays that are coming up, get into that Featherstone line and go for those intercepts. And a couple of times they've done it, and a couple of times, Joanne, it's nearly come off.
Lee Evans says, I hope we're better than this in the middle eights. Yeah, Super 8 qualifiers, let's hope we are, because it won't be good watching if it is. I'm sure they will, because we have seen much better play from Featherstone Rovers than this. Is John Davis on the charge. They just need to get going in this game to Featherstone. They're just not able to do this at the moment. Bostock now. Bostock up to the 10-metre. He flicks the ball out the back. John Davis wasn't alert. He eventually takes it. It was a blind pass out the back from Bostock. Featherstone weren't alert to it, but eventually they've come up. And Hardcastle now. Hardcastle taking it forward. Back to the place where Bostock offloaded it, really. So lost a little bit of ground, Featherstone. Richard Moore on the charge. 5 metres away.
Good drive from Richard Moore.
Moore tries to get to his feet, play the ball. It's a bit of a mess. Wildy in at dummy half. He tries to go himself over the line. He gets held up, though. The ball's going to get brought back to the 10-metre line. Halifax have tackled like Trojans this afternoon, and they once again stymie Featherstone Rovers' chances of a try, and it brings back to the 10. It's not a great pass to Thackeray. Thackeray then to Walton. Walton on the run around, and he gets met. It's the last tackle. He felt that, did Walton. He gets to his feet very slowly. They've been in a war of Featherstone this afternoon. Thackeray with a kick to the left-hand side. Once again.
Knock on.
There's a knock on at last by Ben Heaton. Not sure if he was challenged fairly or not there, but the referee says it is a knock on, so Featherstone are going to get a scrum on the 10 and they pack it down very quickly. Referee calls time off.
First decent kick we've really seen from Featherstone Rovers, at least in the second half.
Well, it was still the same kind of kick we've been doing, to be honest, Ben. It wasn't any different. It's just that Ben Eaton couldn't deal with it this time. I think that's, or perhaps the challenge was better.
Either way, they've got the result from it on this occasion, but I have to say a lot of the last tackle options from Featherstone today have been poor, Joanne.
Jason Walton down injured in back play. The doctors and physios for Featherstone Rovers have certainly been very busy, and
they've earned the money today, haven't they?
They have. It was a crunching tackle on Jason Walton. I think it's another head injury.
It's sat up, fortunately.
Doctor's just checking him out. See if he's okay to carry on. I don't know if he is or not. I think he is.
It's so important that Featherstone, if they want to win this game today, John, it's so important that Featherstone Rovers get points here.
Well, 19 minutes left, and it's still Featherstone 4, Halifax 20. This scrum on the Halifax 10. Featherstone head and feed. Thackeray feeds the scrum. It comes to John Davis. Davis to Hardcastle. Hardcastle taking it forward. He's so strong. He's 2 metres out, is Hardcastle, as he plays that ball. Wildy in at dummy half. He dummies it, and it goes to Thackeray. Thackeray also dummies it. He tries to go himself. And that's a flop there by Halifax, but the referee's not given anything. Yes, he has eventually. So obvious a flop there by Halifax, but he's calling time off. I think he's going to have a chat. No need for them to go in. Was it Ryan Boyle, I think? And he's just come on the field as well as Ryan Boyle. He's just been sent on.
Just while time is called off as well, Joanne, Rovers have made another change. Jack Ormondroyd has come back on for them. I didn't see who's come off, but...
Jack Ormondroyd came on for Chris Alunya, didn't he, before?
Yes, he did.
So Ormondroyd going on the charge, so they've not made a change, I don't think, haven't Featherstone. Ormondroyd playing the ball. Literally inches out, and it goes to Davis. Davis, a last gas tackle by Johnston. Oh, and Thackeray goes without the ball, and Warrancy picks it up. It's a free play, and oh, Richard Moore, what are you doing? Richard Moore could have easily got penalised for that. Warrancy's going, come on. Moore went on Warrancy on the floor, and I'm sorry if that had been a Featherstone player with a Halifax player going on him like that, would have been going crazy. Oh, Bostock now with the tackle. Halifax over the 40. John Davis falls off Ryan Boyle, so he makes a further 5 metres forward. Mariano eventually coming in to tackle with the help of Wildy. Griggs now going straight forward in route 1, straight forward, and it's the last tackle. Halifax are 45 metres away. Morell with a deep kick. I'm not sure if it, oh gosh, Kyron Johnson, it goes through his arms. He didn't knock on though, it's gone backwards, the referee says, and I think the only thing that saved Kyron there was he was slightly facing his own posts, but didn't look confident at all under that high Morell ball. Talapapa taking it forward now.
Couple of kicks he's not looked happy with this afternoon, Kyron Johnson. We talked about that before the game. How would he cope with the kicking game of Scott Morell? And he's found it difficult at times.
Certainly has. Luke Briscoe now plays the ball. Wildy in at dummy half. Wildy having to take it himself. Featherstone looking very tired out there indeed in this heat.
Looking very flat, aren't they, as well at the minute?
Yo, Richard Moore spills the ball now. Goes straight into the arms of a grateful Ben Kay. So Halifax get gifted the ball on halfway. Shane Grady now taking the ball forward. It wasn't. It was actually Brandon Moore, not Ben Kay, that took the ball there. But Grady now takes it up to the 40. Ryan Boyle taking it forward. Ben Kay in at dummy half to Morell. Morell with a pass out to that right-hand side. Featherstone defending, but Featherstone have had to do a heck of a lot of tackling in this game. Looking very tired they are. Will Sharp now with the ball. He's the kind of man who will exploit tired legs, and he tries to go through, and he's 15 metres away from the line as he gets tackled. Ben Johnston now with the ball, and he holds it. He puts a little kick through for Grady. Grady knocks on though, and that's a let-off for Featherstone Rovers indeed. Lovely little kick by Ben Johnston through there. Grady knocked on, and it's probably the second try he's bombed this game.
Halifax fans, you got to love fans. I mean, such a fickle bunch, aren't they, Joanne? But yeah, Shane Grady there, what an opportunity was. He just couldn't keep hold of that ball as he grounded that ball. So another let-off for Featherstone Rovers. That's 2 or 3 times that Halifax have not taken opportunities to really put this game to bed, Joanne.
Well, time is ticking out. It's ticking away. It's 15 minutes left in this game. The ball comes down the blind side with Jason Walton, but Ben Johnston was alert, but Walton gets his ball away to Andy Bostock. Bostock, if he can release Briscoe, and he can't. Oh, Briscoe puts the ball to the floor. If Briscoe could have caught that in try time, even 70 metres away from the Halifax line, he'd have been clearing space. He'd have just needed to pin his ears back. You could just see what was going to happen. Bostock held the ball up delightfully, but Luke Briscoe just not able to hang on to the ball, and Halifax are going to get the scrum on the Featherstone 20.
What an opportunity, Joanne, for Featherstone Rovers to get back into this game. It was a great move, great play from Bostock to go across that line. The pass was on, and like you say, if the pass had been taken by Briscoe, it was clear, there was no stopping him. But the ball put to ground, and now Halifax have another chance to put this game to bed.
Ben Heaton on the charge from the scrum, and he takes it over the 20-metre line. Now it comes with Ryan Boyle. He takes it again. He gets tackled 12 metres away. Ben Kane at dummy half. It's going to come to the right-hand side to Morell. Morell's been taking charge of that right-hand side. Ben Johnston the left today for Halifax, and they've run the show of the halfbacks for them, and there's a penalty to Halifax for holding down by Featherstone Rovers.
Yeah, Rovers there. And Scott Morell, I think, is saying we'll take the 2. Thank you very much, sir. Yes, they are. Rovers have made a change as well, Joanne. Darryl Griffin's come on. Oh, has he? Is that Griffin?
Yeah, I can see Daryl Griffin under the post.
Yeah, it's Richard Moore who's come off. But
well,
Rovers...
Richard Moore were just starting to get very frustrated out there, you could tell. And of course, he lost that ball, didn't he, on the charge? So not surprising, that substitution, that interchange.
This penalty for Halifax just takes that lead out to 18 points. Lead. So this a 3-score lead, a 3-converted try lead, maybe it's the better way of putting that. But Featherstone Rovers, Joanne, they've been so flat at times today, haven't they?
I was thinking about this game this morning, and I was wondering how much Featherstone would have wanted it, as Steve Tyra, just to the right of the post, just teeing up this penalty. He's successful. He makes it 22 for Halifax to Featherstone's 4. Yeah, this morning I was thinking about this game and just how much Featherstone Rovers compared to Halifax in terms of how much they want it. And that's nothing against Featherstone Rovers. I'm not saying they wouldn't have come into this game wanting it, but Halifax really need it. It's a bit like Featherstone were at this time last year to get into the top 4. Mark Kirby says Toulouse are winning too, so they will be up for it next week as the short kickoff comes from Featherstone. It's not effective though, and Will Sharp takes it. He loses the ball though. That's a knock-on, so Featherstone Rovers come up. Jack Ormonroyd still out there clapping that ball has gone to ground and that him and James Lockwood have forced that knock-on by Will Sharp. They're happy. They form the scrum quickly. Featherstone Rovers are still wanting to get something out of this game, if it's only pride, but yeah, Mark Kirby says Toulouse are winning too, so they'll be up for it next week. In the heat of France, it's even warmer there, 30 degrees, so Featherstone.
The other thing to think about for both Halifax, Toulouse and even Featherstone to a degree, John, is points difference.
It is, and Toulouse are playing Hull KR, so it just goes to show, those teams that have already secured what they do. And Kyron Johnson now, with the ball in hand, he's dodging round Ben Kay. And he gets over the 20. That was a good run by Kyron Johnson. That was a pass from the scrum, and Featherstone within the Halifax 20. They'll be wanting to get some points on the board now, Will Featherstone. As Daryl Griffin drives it forward. He's 8 metres out from that Halifax try line. Wildine at dummy half. He goes to Thackeray. Thackeray dummies. It gives it to Lockwood, but Lockwood's unable to get over that try line. The Halifax tacklers have done a good job once again, and it comes out to Thackeray again. Thackeray now to Davis. Davis to Walton, who tries to pat the ball on to Talapapa. And Halifax are chasing the ball down. Warrants is going to go now for a try, I'm sure, because we've got Davis, Thackeray, and Hardcastle chasing Warrancy down. He's not going to be stopped. All from a Featherstone mistake. Rob Warrancy scores to put this game to bed this afternoon. Halifax 4, Featherstone Rovers 4, Halifax 26. In this game, it's been a Halifax one-team show this afternoon, I'm afraid to say. Featherstone Rovers not been at the races. Such a shame on this occasion. Featherstone Rovers, that they've not put in the performance that the fans would want to see. And already the fans are leaving. Even with 10 minutes left, they've not liked what they've seen at all this afternoon, haven't the Featherstone fans? And they're voting with their feet. Yeah, I'm not surprised, Joanne. Fans are leaving. 10 minutes left, like we say. On the back of a Featherstone Rovers mistake. Execute, which is what they struggled with all afternoon, to be honest with you, Joanne. Featherstone Rovers not been able to execute at all much this afternoon. Halifax again there. Rob Warrancy, when he gets open field like that, it takes some stopping. Rovers not able to stop him on that occasion. This will boost their confidence massively. Last game of the season. Well, this is the danger, isn't it? Featherstone have already qualified for the Super 8 qualifiers. They're kind of home and hosed. Sharp has been saying in all the previews and everything, he's been saying, we want to go in winning, and all the players have been saying this. But this afternoon, not been great as Tyra converts that Rob Warrancy try. So it's Featherstone Rovers 4, Halifax 26. In this game, 10 minutes remaining. Johnston comes up to take the kick-off. It's going to be 28, is that, Joanne? 28, sorry. Scoreboard ticks over. Scoreboard hadn't completed. Will Sharp, it is with the ball from that kick-off from Johnson. He takes it up to the Halifax 30. Now Ryan Boyle takes it forward. He gets the ball away. Ben Johnston does a hop, skip and a jumpy. It's a high tackle on him from Andy Bostock, though, so it's a penalty to Halifax. Do we know the penalty count this afternoon? It seems to have been very...
I lost track a long time ago,
okay.
Let's put it that way.
I think Featherston's indiscipline has cost them as well this afternoon. There seems to have been a lot of Halifax penalties, but that's what happens when you're on the back foot all game. You tend to... Indiscipline tends to creep in, doesn't it? It tends to breed indiscipline.
It does, and it has cost Featherston to a large degree this afternoon as a discipline. The territory, the points that Halifax have kicked from Rovers discipline, or indiscipline as it has been. But Halifax now 35 metres out. Ben Case skills from in half. He'll find Johnston, and Grady puts it down. So John Davis picks up, so Rovers get away with that one. And they're going to start a new set themselves as John Davis stays down now.
It was a thumping tackle on John Davis. It put him on his back. He's probably winded, I'd have thought. It was, I think it was Steve Tyra who put him on his back. Been a lot of stoppages in this game. I mean, we're on 10-5 and there's still 9 minutes left in this game. So it's certainly been one for physios. I think they've earned their corn this afternoon at the LD Nutrition Stadium.
If it was me, I'd be asking for overtime if I was a physio. Well, no, it has been brutal, Joanne, at times. There have been a lot of injuries. Been a very scrappy game at times, but you've got, Featherston have not been at the level where they've been the past few weeks, that's for sure.
They've been outplayed in every area, Ben. There's no hiding from that fact, and that's something that the players will have to discuss in training in preparation for the trip to France next Saturday. So Daryl Griffin now with the ball for Featherston. They're 5 metres short of Wildy to Thackeray to Lockwood. Lockwood makes it into the Halifax half. Griffin now taking it forward, and it's kind of relying on the forwards just charging up with this ball, and a lot of the creativity's fallen on the shoulders of Anthony Thackeray, and it's whether he can persist with that. Last tackle coming in for Featherston now. Thackeray, it is, who puts the ball in the air. It's a high one, but Will Sharp's going to take that comfortably. But the chase is good from Featherston, and they tackle him just a metre short of his own line. So
better kick chase from Featherston, but dropping off tackles again. Featherston Rovers there.
Yeah, John Davis tried to get to Steve Tyra, but Steve Tyra knocked him off, and it was uncharacteristic there to see Davis falling off a tackle. So Will Sharp again with the ball. Takes it up towards the 30. Just a couple of metres short of the 30 now.
Michael Seal returning to the field for Halifax. It's not bad if you can bring on a player like that, is it?
It's not. Ian Scott says nothing on you guys, but it's not been easy listening. It's not been easy commentating neither, Ian. I can assure you, has it, Ben?
Probably one of the most difficult games as a fan, because obviously we are fans as much as commentators, and it's not easy commentating on a game like this, is it? As Karen Johnson returns that kick through.
I think it probably ranks with Blackpool this season as the commentate on. Anyway, Luke Briscoe with the ball now. Takes it over the 40. He's got 3 Halifax players in attention. He puts them off, and there's a ball to Mariano. Mariano had to reach behind for it. He's up to the Halifax 40, tries to get to his feet, and he does, and it comes to Talapapa now, brings the ball. Man up rugby, though, at the moment for Featherstone Rovers.
Been quiet this second half as Missy Talapapa, but there we go. He's won his second penalty of the day. Yep. So we'll take that from Talapapa.
The Talapapa trademark. Go for 2. The tap's taken, and Andy Bostock goes forward with the ball. It's 15 metres out.
The thought did cross my mind just for half a second then, but no.
Comes to Griffin. Come on, Daryl Griffin, get over the line. No, he's pulled up just inches short is Griffin. Wildy in at dummy half. He gets it to Thackeray. Thackeray to Mariano. Mariano's going to go over the line for a Featherstone Rovers consolation try. Featherstone Rovers 8, Halifax 28. Mariano with the Featherstone Rovers' second try of the afternoon, just to lighten those blue and white hearts just a little bit.
That's as easy as that, Joanne. You know, you move the ball out wide. That's defence. Move the ball out quickly. Gaps will appear, and Featherstone have worked that try well. Mariano finishing it off well, maybe midway between.
Johnson with a quick conversion attempt. It's a flapper. He was going for a quick one, and it was a complete flapper, as we call it in rugby league, and it just flapped in front of the sticks and didn't go over. So Featherstone still in single figures. It's Featherstone Rovers 8, Halifax 28, with 5 minutes remaining in this game. The comeback is on.
I saw comments on here earlier, Joanne. Where was it? I saw it on someone said on here, this would be the biggest comeback since Lazarus, I think he said earlier on. It could well be if Rovers can do it now.
Why not? 4 tries in 5 minutes. Easy.
Go on then.
So Toulouse have won against Hull KR. Like I was saying, this does show that those teams that have already secured their positions may be easing off a little bit, but it's not really what the Featherstone fans would have wanted to see this afternoon, this performance. They'd have wanted to see something a little bit more, especially, you know, when it turned out, I think they'd have wanted to see something a little bit more, let's say, enthusiastic. As the ball's lost in the tackle by Jack Ormonroyd, so Halifax are going to get the scrum.
How frustrated will you be if you're both Toulouse and Halifax when you pick up a massive win against one of your big rivals? So Toulouse, go to Hull KR, win. Featherstone, Halifax are playing at Featherstone, they'll have lost. You look at the score. Well,
yeah,
you'd be
and vice versa as well. Yeah. Halifax fans probably, they've gone a little bit quiet actually behind those sticks. I think they were thinking top 4 secured, and they've gone very quiet behind those sticks at the moment. And
but you know, you think you've got it secure. Like you say, you've beaten one of the big teams, and then you find out your biggest rivals for the top 4 have won as well.
Exactly. So Steve Tyra takes it over 40. Mariano and Davis tackled him. Comes now to Ben Kay. Ben Kay up to the 30. I think what we'll have to do is seek revenge in the Super 8 qualifiers, won't we, as Elliot Morris takes it forward.
Why not?
Yeah. Brandon Moore from dummy half evades Mariano. He gets it out wide to Sharp, but Hardcastle tackles him. It's out. I think Hardcastle's been the one who showed the most vim and vigour this afternoon, as Elliot Morris with the ball again for Halifax. Gets it away, and he might have lost it there, so it's a knock-on. Featherstone are going to get the scrum. 3 minutes left. Featherstone Rovers 8, Halifax 28 in this round 22 Kingstone Press Championship game here at the LD Nutrition Stadium.
Yeah, it's been very flat from Featherstone Rovers this afternoon. For taking nothing away from Halifax, they have played well. They have taken the opportunities. They've exploited the weaknesses that are found in Featherstone. But Featherstone Rovers today have not been at the races at all, have they, Joanne?
They certainly haven't, no, but Halifax have just wanted it more. It's plain and simple. So it's there's Jason Walton now with the ball. Talapapa takes it over the 20. Johnson now from dummy half. Grady tackles him though, puts him to the floor, 32 metres out. Bostock with the ball to Thackeray, who dodges around the attention of Ed Barber. He did well there, did Thackeray. He gets put to the ground though and he's injured. Is Thackeray. Not sure what went on there in the tackle, but Thackeray gets very gingerly to his feet as the physio Faz with yet another run onto the pitch, and it's the last tacklers just inside the half as Wildy puts a kick in. It goes over the top of Will Sharp's head.
Good kick from Wildy. Is it going to hold up? Or
no, unfortunately, but Wildy was chasing it down, but unfortunately just not able to hold up in the field of play. So it goes dead. It's going to be a 20-metre restart.
On a 7-tackle set.
Yeah, Will Sharp takes it over the 30. So referee wipes the tackle count clean now. It's a set of 6. And we've got Ryan Boyle on the charge, but he gets the ball away to Warren C, the try scorer, one of the Halifax try scorers this afternoon. Walton could have been penalised there. He was turtling on his back, and Bostock now with a bit of rough stuff on Shane Grady. He didn't like that.
Shake of the head from Shane Grady there, and Andy Bostock says sorry to him. So
I think Bostock gave him a special, let's say. Halifax 42 metres away from the Featherstone line. Ben Johnston lays it to Grady. Grady out to Morris. Morris gets tackled by Hardcastle and Bostock. And the penalty then, because Bostock was laying in the ruck, the penalty goes to Halifax. So I'm guessing they might go for 2 here, you know.
we're in the last minute.
There we go.
Steve Tyler will probably kick this. He doesn't like that ball. He's kicked that ball away. He wants a different ball. That one myself, but you know.
We'll see about his balls at the moment, is Steve Tyler. 20 seconds left. He wants to. Talapapa's having a word with the ref. Lost cause now, really, Missy. Steve Tyler going to finish this game up with this penalty kick. Going to try and bring the 30 up for Halifax. It's Featherstone's 8, and it's as the final hooter goes. We've still got the penalty kick to come. It's a scoreline reflective of the game. I think it's a fair reflection of the game, is that scoreline. So Halifax winning convincingly here. Tyra strikes the ball. It comes off the upright, and Johnson collects it. Johnson passes it to Talapapa, and Talapapa says, "Oh, I'll offload it as well." And Featherstone get it to Luke Briscoe. Briscoe now in space, and he's going to run with the ball. And he eventually gets the ball away to
back to one.
But it's a bit of a means they'd say out there at the minute. A shamozzle, and a little bit of set 2 between Michael Seo and Josh. Game is complete now. Halifax fans happy. Featherstone Rovers fans not happy at all, and it's a shame at the last home Ordinary League game of the season that Featherstone haven't been able to put in a performance. But like I was saying, it is a reflective scoreline of how this afternoon has gone. Featherstone Rovers 8, 28. Halifax still searching for that top 4 spot. Featherstone Rovers still safe in that top 4. They've already qualified for the Super 8 qualifiers, and they'll be going to France next week for the game against Toulouse for the last Ordinary League game of the season.
Second half tries for Halifax. 2 Ben Heaton, that was converted by Tyler, and Rob Warrency converted. Mariano did get consolation for Featherstone with 5 minutes to go, but again Johnson unable to convert that, and then a last minute penalty for Steve Tyler right on the hooter. Like you say, John, it's been convincing from Halifax. Featherstone Rovers really not at the races at all today, and they will need to play a lot better than this next week in Toulouse.
They certainly will. They'll be having to have a look at this game on the training sessions this week, and John Sharp needs to get his charges up for that trip to France. Get reaction from John Sharp now, and 3 of the players, see what they have to say about the performance. Thank you for listening this afternoon. Oh, God, yeah. Go back on. Preview. I'll get words out on Twitter and Facebook this week.